Recording in progress.
Okay, calling the February 23rd, 2026 Parks and Recreation Commission to order at 5:32 p.m. Can we do a roll call, please?
Sure. Commissioners, when I call your name, please indicate that you are present. Chair Moralia,
Present.
Vice Chair Nagaya,
Present.
Commissioner Admire,
Present.
Commissioner Davis,
Present.
Commissioner Diaz is out, Commissioner Ferguson is excused, Commissioner Fine is out, Commissioner Finland,
Present.
Commissioner Phillips,
Present.
Commissioner Roddy is out. We have a quorum.
Awesome. Oops. Lost my place. I don't know. The agenda was posted last Wednesday, whatever that date is. Those really are running together for me these days. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Any changes to the minutes? If not, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second? Anybody?
We'll do a roll call approval for that. Commissioner, Chair Moralia,
Approved.
Vice Chair Nagaya,
Approved.
Commissioner Admire,
Approve.
Commissioner Davis,
Approved.
Commissioner Finland,
Approved.
Commissioner Phillips,
Approved.
unanimously approved.
Time for public comment. This time has been set aside for members of the public to address the Parks and Recreation Commission on agenda items and items of general interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the commission. Although the commission values your comments pursuant to the Brown Act, it generally cannot take any action on items not listed on the posted agenda. 3 minutes are assigned for each speaker. These guys are doing a presentation, right?
Correct.
There's nobody else live. Anybody on Zoom?
If you are joining us via Zoom, use the raise hand feature to indicate if you would like to speak, please. I see no members on Zoom.
Okay, that concludes public comment. Director's report.
All right, good evening, Parks and Recreation Commissioners. I'll give you a brief presentation of what the department has been up to since our last commission meeting. First, we'll start with the City Council agenda items. We only had one item from this past month. This was on January 28th. The City Council did approve to move forward with the Demuth Park Development Project. This is City Project number 21-16. We're really excited for this large investment that's going to be made in Demuth Park. This includes the improvements to both the small and large dog parks, a new restroom building, some ADA access, and some new parking lots being done there. So we are really excited that this is moving forward. I did send you all a notice earlier today, but the project kicks off on Monday, March 2nd. So this happens on Monday. There's going to be a large construction area. I'm sure we'll get into that later this evening, but there's going to be a lot of disruption to Demuth Park, including the already ongoing pickleball renovation project that is happening there. So we're asking for our community to be patient with us, but we have some really exciting kind of improvements moving forward here. This also means that both small and large dog parks at Demuth will close on Monday. So as we all know, the City Hall Dog Park does remain open here. So we're asking everybody to kind of move over to this one while we move forward with the construction project. It'll be a fast construction project where everything will be completed by the end of September. So we're really excited for this project to kick off.
Will the dog park be closed the whole time?
The dog park will be closed most of the time. It may be finished in middle of the summer, but we're kind of gauging that right now as we look through the construction schedule. As we continue on, we did have a new team member join us in the recreation department. Pictured here, this is Cosette Lingrand. She is a recreation program assistant who is working at the James O'Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center. Cosette comes with us with a large vast of recreation experience. She attended the Budapest Metropolitan University in Hungary and brings with her a valuable experience working directly with the public through her time at the Riverside County Library. She has also worked closely with students in the Think Together program here in Palm Springs and supports youth enrichment and educational programming. So she'll be a great addition to the James O'Jesse team, and we're really excited to have her on board with us. Some other things that we've been up to at the swim center. The Palm Springs Swim Club brings adults together for coached workouts, fitness, and real community. It's a structured training program, as you all know, without the pressure. So swimmers show up at their level, get a great workout, and leave feeling better than when they arrived. The team meets Monday through Friday for morning, noon, and evening sessions. And since we've incorporated this new program, we continue to build a lot of great interest and a lot of new swimmers in the master's program. So we're really excited to be able to offer this program at the Swim Center. Another highlight, as you all know, we do partner with Palm Springs High School, where they host all of their swim meets at the Swim Center. So pictured here, this is a Palm Springs High School girls water polo team who recently completed their season. The team finished 14-8 overall and 5-2 in the league play, and this included a postseason win and quarterfinal appearance. The Swim Center appreciates the partnership with Palm Springs High School Athletics and is proud to support local student athletes by providing access to a safe, welcoming environment for training and competition. Program highlight at the Leisure Center. This is our Pee Wee Rec program, where we continue to serve our littlest of community members with fun and enriching age-appropriate activities. Although the program is classroom-based, we also get to explore our little ones out into some other opportunities outside of the classroom. So pictured here is where we took the kids out to a nature walk around Sunrise Park. Also at the Leisure Center, we offer our yoga program. So this is our low-impact yoga class, which offers gentle and accessible approach to movements, focusing on flexibility, balance, and relaxation. The program is designed for all fitness levels, and this class emphasizes slow, controlled movements and mindful breathing. Yoga meets 6 days a week, 5 days a week happen at the Leisure Center, and then on Saturdays they are at the Demuth Community Center. At the James O'Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center, we kicked off Black History Month on February 6th with one of our first Friday free programs. On that day, we had guests enjoyed refreshments, music, crafts, dance performances, and a presentation on local history by community member Dieter Crawford.
Former Parks and Recs Commissioner member.
Former Parks and Recs Commissioner member, thank you. Also on February 6th, we had another Black History event at the Demuth Community Center, where we had a Black History paint night, where we brought the community together to have a welcoming space to explore the stories, achievements, and contributions of Black leaders. This was a do-it-yourself paint session where there was an opportunity for reflection, resilience, inspiration, and cultural pride. Also at the James O'Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center, a programming highlight is our breeding class, which meets on the third Monday of each month. The ages for this program is for middle to high school students. Pictured here is one of our program assistants, Miss Beverly, who takes pride in teaching our youth through this wonderful skill, including individual, French, and underbraiding techniques. Also coming up, we have a new youth basketball league program which will be launching. We are really excited to launch this program. It's been almost 10 years since we've launched a formal sports program in the department, so our team has been hard at work to bring this program to life. So this will be a youth basketball league, and signups are now open. This is a co-ed league for ages 5 to 14 and will be offered at both the James O'Jesse Center and the Demuth Community Center. We are also looking for volunteers, so if any of you or any members of the community are interested in volunteering, please let us know if you're willing to volunteer to coach or referee, because we are looking for a lot of members to help us run this program. So this is a huge, exciting thing for us to be able to offer. And the program kicks off on March 4th, so we're really excited to get this up and going.
Nick, is that a weekly program?
excuse me, once we have our coaches set up, they'll be able to set their schedules, but yes, this will be a weekly long program. Some other kind of just upcoming programs that are free with community memberships, just some program highlights and spotlights for you all. We have our Creative Arts and Expression class, which happens on Wednesdays from 12:30 to 2:30 at the Demuth Community Center. This is the perfect place to let your crafty side take over and come up with something amazing. It's a do-it-yourself arts and crafts class, so it's a new program being offered at Demuth. Also coming up, starting next week, we're offering a new gardening club called the Blooming Bunch. This is also at Demuth. That'll be held on Mondays from 3 to 4. This program is a hands-on gardening club open to all ages and experience levels. And it's really to focus more on the community garden program that is over at Demuth. So it's more than just dirt and seeds. It's about growing together. So we're excited to bring this program to our community there. Then I'll turn it over to our project manager, John Brickley, to give us some project updates.
Hey everyone. Okay. First is the Desert Highland Park Playground. So we're still coordinating with agreements with a couple of vendors on this. Close to finalizing that. There's just a few of the insurance things like that we're getting through. The play structure and safety surfacing is going to be one. The shade structure itself is another. The engineering site plans is another agreement. And the lighting will be another agreement there. Making some progress on that lighting as well. We're finalizing some of the smaller details with the vendors, such as we had some of the communication panels, so that's where the kids could go up and say, like I want more, or I want slide, things like that, where non-verbal communications, and as well as some of the playground signage, just getting all the details for how the aesthetics on that. Can we go back to that real quick? Sorry. Just lighting installation, I just wanted to clarify, lighting installation is part of this project and will be part of that project when it's delivered. And we're expecting to kick that off sometime in this spring.
Cool. Can I ask you something about the
Sure.
lighting? Is this the lighting that we've talked about before that we're going to try and put on the other playgrounds? Yes? Yes.
So once we identify a viable solution there, we're using this as like a pilot project, then we'll go back and retrofit the others. The swim center, so the construction design documents are currently in progress. The exploratory demolition, I believe that was going on during last meeting, has been completed. We're awaiting the findings back from the architect on that. So myself, engineering team, our swim center staff, we've been meeting regularly with the architect to go over how the staff operates, what their storage needs are for some of their larger equipment, maybe more specialized things, whether that's conditioned or otherwise types of storage. Facility access and overall functionality design of how that building works in conjunction with their programming. So making sure that how the staff needs it now and how they foresee needing that over the next 10, 20 years is built into this design, so it serves a functional need for the next 20 years. A few public art updates really quick. The AIDS Memorial, the plans are still under review. It's very close to being done for the permits, so we're hoping to get that issued for the artist shortly. And that should begin in the spring. The stone is still in Italy being milled, but we're hoping to kick that off sometime later in the spring. I don't see any impacts to World Art Day for that. The artscapes in the park, Aaron will have some more updates on that here in just a minute, but I know we're working on some of the footing construction and sculptures to get those put in this month, or I'm sorry, March and April, and then target completion prior to World Art Day on April 15th. A few more public arts, beautiful shade. The Dragonfly bench we've all but finalized that. We're really just waiting back from an engineering drawing from the artist. I've been coordinating with our building and safety director. He's pretty good with what we have as long as we can get it stamped and signed from an engineer. As soon as we have that, we'll be able to schedule that install, and that should be a fairly quick installation. The artist will bring it out and we'll get it in the park shortly. The Desert Highland Park, James O'Jesse Community Center, cities. So we're the Wyatt mural. I have 2 calls with our grant writer this week. One's with the state to look at the opportunity that's there, how we're going to submit our letter of intent by the due date next month, as well as debriefing with the state on what we submitted last time, what worked, what didn't work, what's going to help our case to help get, secure that grant funding this cycle. The Demuth Park Improvements Project, Nick touched on this at the beginning. So the project's going to commence on the 2nd, so that's next Monday. It includes installation of a new bathroom near the soccer field where the CV Link access currently is. The large and small dog parks will be closed and renovated. Replacement of the Youth League field parking lot, so that's that center parking lot off of Mesquite. Expansion of the parking lot at Demuth Community Center and all softball fields, and softball fields. And that's that large dirt parking lot now. That's going to be converted into a full asphalt parking lot. Installation of netting along Field 7, the perimeter of Field 7. So I did talk with Johnny Coronado last week to let him know he was very happy that that's going in. Turf conversions and field improvements to the Youth League fields. And that's more defining the diamonds within the parks or the ballparks themselves, and some of the grass that's creating a nuisance around some of the perimeter fencing. We're going to get rid of that. The target completion date, as Nick had said, is October of 2026, based on 160 working days as soon as that NTP is issued. So plan on that being issued on Monday and seeing crews out there.
Are we doing anything with what used to be the refreshment stand?
At Field 7 and 8,
Sure.
the one closest to Dubuque.
You know I'm not good at the direction thing.
Are we talking about the one that's close to the community center there?
Yeah, the one that's terrible.
So we have spoken with some contractors to, have some proposals for having that renovation done. We wanted to wait until we got this done
okay.
to execute that work, and it's not a huge heavy lift to have those done. We want to have this project out of the way first, and then look to bring that up. Yep.
Okay, cool.
The downtown park amphitheater, so the project's been awarded to a design vendor, and this is for conceptual design. We're coordinating the agreement now. Project kickoff and site assessment, it looks like probably mid-March, so we'll identify a group of stakeholders there who all the city needs to be involved at this point. And just, again, to clarify, this is conceptual design, not construction documents, but more of a low, medium, high design of what we have to build there. And we're looking to, at capacity, event types, facilities, structures, overall layout, all of those types of things as to what can we do with that park. So this is a Measure J funded project, this design phase. So I'm looking forward to having some more
Like, that's
updates
a
on that.
fairly new park. So, am I allowed to ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
That's a fairly new park, so why are we putting money into that?
So the idea is that because when it was built, it wasn't built acoustically to be able to host a lot of concerts and events down in that space, as it's all just open air. And so there was a request several years ago to look at a study to be able to see what we can do as far as placing an actual band shell or an amphitheater there, so that we can host kind of more kind of signature big kind of concert venues there. So that's the idea of what we're doing here, is we're looking to see what our options are, get a cost estimate, and see on how we want to proceed.
Because that's not a big area anyway.
Correct.
So I'm wondering, my thoughts are, we put a lot of money into something that we pay somebody big to come, but you can't fit a lot of folks in there to watch it. So also need to keep that in consideration.
And we are, yes. Yeah. And then this will all come back once we have a fully fleshed out conceptual design. This will all come back to the commissioners for your review and comments.
A few other quick project updates. The Palm Springs Stadium, we actually had that sign scheduled. I just scheduled that earlier today for this coming Thursday. We were going to try and do it last week, but we got rained out, and the wind was not cooperating there either. Some of the Measure J projects, the Barristo Park feasibility study is underway. The Tahquitz Creek Trail Master Plan, I've been meeting regularly with the communities there to get those trees identified. They want 7 mesquite trees planted there by the walkway over the wash. And we're still working on the updated agreement with Riverside County Flood Control. That master agreement has a lot of different projects tied to it. So once we have that, that'll allow us to move forward on a few other projects, like the Barristo one. The Tahquitz Creek Golf Course, so that patio and canopy expansion project is still in that preliminary design phase. We've received a scope of work from the architects. We have that with the golf course operator and asked them for their edits to that scope of work. Once we have that, we'll be looking to set that meeting with them as well to, again, do a conceptual design phase. Ruth Hardy Park, so we're conducting a tennis court assessment. We know we're getting ready to, looking at having pickleball fully online. So we're trying to get ahead of this one. Evaluating the renovation or replacement needs of those facilities and refining the scope of work. I have another call as well this week with our grant writer on a U.S. Tennis Association grant that we're looking to secure to help get the ball rolling with the design and assessment of the tennis courts as well. And the last one, Wellness Park, I did a site assessment with one of our vendors to walk through and look at all the equipment that we have there to ask for a like-for-like replacement of all the exercise equipment that's in that park, including poured-in-place rubberized surfacing. Right now, there's some concrete pads. There's some concrete pads that have a little surfacing over it, so we want to demo that out and put in some nice, soft, surfacing under there as well as equipment. So we should have that proposal back from them here shortly.
John, I'm sorry, if I can go back real quick. On the tennis, you just struck an idea around the USTA. Do we know if, does Indian Wells, does that tournament have any sort of community proceeds that they distribute, much like how golf tournaments do that, where they'll have money and then they put money back into charities? Do we have any idea if there's an opportunity there or a conversation to have with that?
Definitely a conversation worth having, yeah.
I don't know if they do or not, it was just something that popped in.
Yeah, no, that's great, that's good.
Yeah, that's something we can explore.
Do we have relationships out there?
We do not, but I'm sure someone may have, and we could just explore that.
Sounds great.
Usually for like the Tour de Palm Springs, and then they do a big golf tournament out of PGA West.
Right.
As a Rotary Club, we volunteer to run the snack bar, or
Right.
we did the beer garden, or whatever it is, and then we get
Right.
money, and we sell raffle tickets and get all the proceeds as well. So,
I know in addition to that, I mean, I ran a pro tennis tournament ages ago. We used to have dollars that we would do things with, much like the golf tournament does. I mean, they generate significant dollars back for local charities. I don't know if this tournament does it,
Right,
but it
yeah.
might be worth trying to
Checking it
figure
out.
that out.
good idea.
I'll hop in here. Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, Aaron Bergeson, Project Manager in the Public Works Department. Since I don't have that. A few facilities updates for you. The Victoria restroom replacement, we got delayed a little bit on our procurement, but we are going to be going out to bid in March for that. So we expect to award this in April or May. Construction start date TBD, but later this summer. The downtown splash pad, this one's super exciting. This Wednesday, we are going to be commissioning it, so there's a bit of troubleshooting that we have to do, but this is going to be kind of the beginning of the end to get this thing up and running. I'm super excited to get this thing wrapped up. So after this coming Wednesday, I'll have a better idea of kind of what we're looking at on any sort of ribbon cutting or anything like that, which we'll, I imagine, want to do closer to nicer weather months. The pavilion renovation, you can see a picture here. We are moving as quickly as we can to get as much done as possible. So this week we are replacing the lighting. IT upgrades are complete. HVAC upgrades are complete. We're going to start doing some of the build back here in the next couple of weeks. And March 12th, we are starting the door and window replacement on all the exterior doors and windows. So all of the glass, all of those entry points are going to be addressed. One item that's not on here, we're going to address some of the broken concrete and like very concrete areas around the pavilion as well. And then after that, we are going to be refinishing the wood floors, replacing the carpet, doing new walk-off mats and all the entryways. So a lot of work in a very short period of time, and we are pushing as fast as we can to get this done. So super exciting. Happy to answer any questions if you have any on any of these projects. And then to circle back on what John mentioned about the art in the parks, we do have footings for all of those scheduled for the next 2 weeks. So starting next week, we will complete Gateway, Victoria, JOJ, and then the following week we'll be at Barista to do the concrete footings only. The art pieces will be installed closer to the end of March, early April, with the exception of JOJ because of the artist schedule. That one is going to be extended out a couple of months.
And that concludes our report, unless anyone else has any other questions for us.
I'm excited about the pavilion.
We are too.
Really excited.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right.
All right, so
Palm Springs Parks Foundation.
we'll bring the Palm Springs Parks Foundation folks up. As I get them situated, I just want to just quickly introduce them. As you know, we've talked about having a nonprofit arm to the department that'll help us with future grant opportunities, some fundraising efforts, and just otherwise just additional help and support from the community. So you may know these folks already, but they've been already working on a lot of advocacy efforts for just park improvement projects over the years. And they've now changed their name to the Palm Springs Parks Foundation. So they will be our nonprofit arm, working with the Parks and Recreation Commissioners. So as we all know, the commission sets policy, works with staff to kind of help us move that forward in the right direction for what's best for the community. Now this nonprofit arm will help us kind of raise funds for select projects or other kind of initiatives that we want to do. And really it's all three of us are going to be working hand in hand together to kind of just make a better improvement for the Parks and Recreation system. So I will pull their presentation up, and I want to go ahead and just introduce you all on what they've been up to. So you can't see that, right? Oops. There we go.
We did.
All right. There you go.
Thank you, Nick. Hi, everyone. I'm Jana Fitzgerald. I'm joined here with my fellow board members, David Feltman and Catherine Hatch. Kelly McLean, our other board members, I think on the line, couldn't be here in person, but we really appreciate all of you having us here. It's nice to see some familiar faces and some new faces, and we're very excited to begin our work collaboratively, as Nick said, and talk through with you sort of how we envision how we can support the work you're already doing, what we can do to sort of, join forces and be a resource to you all, and how we envision the work that we've done historically, and also what we intend to do going forward. And happy to answer any questions along the process. So wanted to just give you kind of a brief rundown of what we've been doing. If you want to move to the next slide, I think, we're all very aligned around this idea of how do we create and enhance and support rich, vibrant, green public spaces. And, we all came together. Our group's actually been around since 2023, so we're a 501c3, and we were previously the People for Palm Springs Parks, which some of you may recall, and it was really started by a group of local residents. Many of us have been here, with our families for several generations, and are now raising our children here. We're business owners and entrepreneurs and residents who really care about having sort of a rich public tradition of these green spaces here. And our kind of roots are in the advocacy realm. And, we were prioritizing that work to really just do what we could to help support the public spaces that already exist. And to Nick's point, sort of work collaboratively to just move forward in supporting that. And we're all very robust users of the park. I myself have 2 young kids. I'm there pretty much every weekend, and we're very much sort of ears on the ground, but also wanting to support and kind of promote programs that are going to, facilitate really rich programming. Through conversations with Nick and Nisha and the department, we really saw that there was an opportunity for there to be more of a sort of in the tradition of Friends of Parks groups. So as Nick said, we're going to be sort of the fundraising arm, and we envision that the nonprofit is really going to be the vehicle, the entity, because we are a 501c3, to be able to support what you're all already doing and the city's doing, and really just invest in the community to, have the parks match the sort of world-class destination that we already have here in Palm Springs. So that's really what we started with, and that's the core of our mission as a 501c3. And we've been really energized by the partnership with the department as that's evolved. And so before we were, having more informal meetings, and now we've got regular cadences as a 501c3, and are really organizing around what we can do in partnership with you all to support the community well-being. And, again, we deeply believe that parks enrich everyone around them, and they're really core to belonging and a sense of inclusion. And so if we can lift up all the areas around the parks as well, all the better. this is sort of previewing succinctly what I think you all probably are already very, on aligned about, which is how we envision parks. And our group spends a lot of time thinking and talking about what our goals are, what our vision is, through conversations with Nick and Nisha as well. And for us, it's really core and critical to community well-being and health and sort of the long-term health and sustainability of a community and all of its residents, whether we're talking at the low-end spectrum. I think within our group, the youngest in our family is 2. I have a 2-year-old, and then the oldest, my father's in his 80s. So we kind of have the full spectrum of the full experience. And so how do we strengthen those bonds for everyone, regardless of their demographic or abilities or so forth? And also just, supporting nature and the desert environment that we're, so privileged to be a part of, and encourage that for many months of the year, we've got a really beautiful climate and beautiful green spaces. And how do we encourage folks to get outside and really see the parks as a destination, to use the spaces as they're kind of imagined, and to really think about parks as gathering spaces for the public. And again, those that are welcome for everyone, regardless of where they're coming from. So I want to sort of briefly preview who we are. Kelly, who's on the line with us, was also born and raised in Palm Springs. She's now raising I think her kids are the 3rd generation of her family to be here. She's the founder of Splash House. She's been involved in her family's company for a couple of decades. And she's very involved civically and otherwise, locally, and very much a civically minded local. And I was also born and raised here in Palm Springs. I'm a very proud product of all the public schools here, from Catherine Finchie all the way through the original Catherine Finchie, by the way, the one that was where the Wellness Park is, where I remember you from. I'm never going to be able to call you by your first name, by the way.
That was for PET.
I'm never going to be able to say Jody. Totally inappropriate. But
It's Miss Graham back in the
Mrs.
day.
Graham, yes. But so yeah, proud product. I'm an attorney at a firm that my father actually founded originally down the street about 40 years ago. But I moved back here with my family, and I'm now raising my 2 kids here. I'm very involved in sort of civic and legal, nonprofits and organizations, and very energized by the work that you're all doing and that I'm going to join you in. Prior to being here, I spent some time in New York, and I was very involved in the Prospect Park Alliance, which is sort of a large Friends of the Park organization. And I'll let Catherine and David introduce themselves.
My name's Catherine Hatch. I have 3 sons. I moved here from New York in 2020, but I grew up in LA, and my great-grandparents had a place here in the 40s. My grandparents and my parents, so I've been coming here my whole life. And when I came here, I noticed some deficits in the parks and became involved with Naomi Soto, who was a former member of our group, and David, and we really focused on advocacy, and then we've shifted to this foundation position, and I'm really excited about it. My background is in social work. I was a clinical social worker. I guess I still am, but I'm not active. I'm pretty much a mom. Yeah.
Okay. David, I know many of you, but not all of you. The newcomers, I'm only here since 2012, and I've been involved in advocacy for the parks, for the pickleball facility, which we're grateful for and excited about. And I've been involved as well in the tourism industry through vacation rentals, but also the Visit Greater Palm Springs marketing enterprise for our community, which is vital to our economic health, and really see the parks as vital to both our citizens, our families, people of all ages, and also our tourism community. There's a lot of synergies between all of these elements. That's as brief as I can be.
That's us, and we're actually in the process of growing our board. So we've been interviewing potential applicants and speaking with different individuals. We're really excited about the response that we got. We had an ad in the Palm Springs Post, which again, it's sort of an embarrassment of riches in terms of people that are just excited about what we're doing and want to support our local park. So we're growing, and we plan to grow, intentionally and carefully over the next several months. But it will not just be the 4 of us. We will certainly have more people to help. So that's our team. And since 2023, when we've started, I joined the board in 2024. we've had a lot of iterations and we've done a lot of different things. Again, we started off as more of a sort of advocacy group geared towards maintenance, safety, and transparency, and we're able to, sort of put together a lot of very important meetings and sort of efforts. And as part of that, really especially through the work with Nick and Nisha, saw this need for us to be doing something a bit more sort of on the fundraising realm. And so as part of that, we've organized various community events over the years. We've done Walk the Parks, which I know some of you have attended. We really appreciate, and sort of, really wanting to, since we are such robust users, really bring people into the spaces and understand how we're using them and what feedback we're getting so that we can, best serve the community. And we've done cleanups and things along those lines. We, previously were engaged in a lot of advocacy work, which again was kind of part of the original foundation of the group. And now we're really, a strategic partner to the city, to you all. And we, as a board, meet bi-monthly, and we've got standing meetings with Nick and Nisha and the department to sort of align on priorities and understand what's happening with you all and where your goals are. And we're in the process of formalizing an MOU so that that's all kind of memorialized in a writing. As a lawyer, I'm very used to that, and will be very pleased to go back and forth with Nick and his team. But that's kind of how we got to where we are today, and we are again, it's been a 501c3 all along, but we are formally the foundation for the city. And as part of that, we really wanted to start this year off just by listening. So some of you know we held a listening session at the Hilton last month, which was very well attended. Ellen Goodman, who of course is a former commissioner on this committee, was our moderator, and we heard a lot from residents and various stakeholders regarding their experiences of the parks, what their hopes are, what their dreams are, and also just kind of whether they use it and why or not. And we heard a lot about sort of what they'd like to see, and we plan to certainly look at that feedback, but we also want to hear it more. And we know we don't want to duplicate the efforts of all of the work that you've all done. We want to ask very pointed questions so that we, when we go to launch our fundraising campaign, can understand sort of and can speak from a place of, here are the conversations we've been having with our local residents. We plan for more community listening sessions. We're in the works with one at a local dance studio. We want to have, we're trying to hit as many districts as possible, and certainly want to go to all areas of Palm Springs so that we can hear from everyone. And we're very mindful that not everyone can attend in person, so we'll find ways to solicit comments and feedback digitally for those who can't attend in real time. And this, we don't need to get into the specifics, but we just included this to show you sort of what we've captured in the work that we've done. So we always try to get as many data points as possible, and we try to make our events interactive so that we're not only getting people out in the parks, but we're also getting feedback and we're getting information, and we keep it and we collect it and we understand what people are seeing, what they're looking for. And so again, wherever we can just leverage these data points, all the better. Again, this is just kind of previewing some of the issues that we talked about in our letter to City Council on the more advocacy side, but that's a summary of some of the work done to date. And then, as a foundation, as a 501c3, which again, we really view ourselves in the richer tradition of like the Friends of the Parks groups, or even just friends of organizations more generally. And these groups that are community driven, fundraising oriented, and partnering with local cities and local commissions and groups to really help raise funds and to help provide, more sustainable long-term support for public green spaces. And through the work that we've done, meeting bi-monthly and doing a lot of strategic thinking, we've identified these 3 core pillars of what we really want to focus on. And working with you all and understanding what your priorities are, we look at everything from this lens of, okay, water, shade, and activation and recreation. That guides a lot of the work that you're already doing, but from the standpoint of, okay, we're in a desert, we're in a very harsh environment, and we see water as sort of a basic safety issue, but also just how can we provide something that is climate resilient and also allows people to be here all the time. We're year-round full-timers, and think about water as a way to sort of engage the community and have them actually be able to use parks in a way that they can access it throughout the year. And shade is sort of another way of, climate conscious design and thinking about green spaces and greening the environment, while also having adequate shade so that we know people can comfortably be in the parks and have a place to sit and be covered. And then activation and recreation, which we know you're all very focused on as well, of just, again, getting people into these spaces because we really want to help foster a sense of belonging. And how do we do that? We do that through programming and making it so that everyone feels like they have a space in the parks. So that's what we're looking at. And as far as how we sort of, see how we can complement your efforts, we really respect the work that you've all done, the work that Nick and Nisha do, the department, the city, and we, are mindful and cognizant of our various different roles and capabilities. And our endeavor is to complement what you're doing. We also recognize it's very different. And so we know you focus more on sort of the policy advisory role. The department, of course, is, operationally working on the day-to-day. And we really view our role as sort of the work that, the city can't do on its own. The fundraising work, the, mobilizing, the getting, identifying and building partnerships, because again, there's such a through line between community well-being and our green spaces and all the different, sort of health and wellness and sort of umbrella of sort of potential partnerships that we see and how we can develop those. So again, we really want to complement what's already happening and sort of enhance and support and help what you all are doing. And we really appreciate any feedback and we view this as a collaboration, and so we look forward to a constructive partnership and a constructive working relationship with everyone, because as Nick said, it's really kind of a tripartite group now, and we want to help support wherever we can. So we're very energized and very excited, and with that, we have, we welcome any questions, any feedback, any ideas, whether it's now or later. We have on the last slide our email as well as our website. And again, we thank you all for your work and your dedication and collaboration.
Do you guys foresee like different types of funding? So in other words, can somebody say, I want to give $10,000, but you have to use it for this? And then are you also going to have buckets where it can be used for anything, like the overall foundation?
Yeah, that's a great question. We will aim to have a general fund to start because, frankly, with the identification of various projects, we can't guarantee and we can't commit that something's going to be used for something specific. So as we start off, we're looking at a general fund.
Okay.
Knowing that we, of course, want to, have at least sort of a suggestion of here's what we intend and here's what we hope to help support to give folks some idea about what's to come.
There's some buckets, right? The Google buckets that they can choose from.
Yeah.
Nobody else?
I'm excited for the whole, I think it's fabulous. I spent a lot of time with Catherine on the floats. We floated together on the Christmas float.
Yeah.
And she is a part-time attorney for Modernism Week occasionally.
I moonlight. I have many hats.
I mean, essentially, you and Lisa are like sisters?
Yeah, we're sisters. Different, yeah. But yeah, no, we're very, very pleased to support all the work that you're doing and thinking about all the different ways to do it. I think the buckets that we mentioned were, again, water, shade, and activation. And so thinking about creative ways to do that and welcome any ideas.
Cool. I mean, the city needs it, for sure.
Yes.
We have things we want to do, and we don't have the money for it, so there's lots of people here with lots of disposable income.
Yeah, and there's also other buckets of money that's out there. I've been doing some research. For example, there is I don't know the formal name, but the California settlement with the tobacco industry. I think it's called the California Fund or something like that. I mean, they have to give money for health and wellness to communities. And as far as I know, we've never sought that money. It has to go through a nonprofit organization. And there's other foundations out there like that, other buckets of money for climate resiliency. I've spoken to a couple of people at the state level who are accessing that money for other communities up in Northern California. There are buckets of money out there. It's hard to get. It's a little bit of a yin and yang in answer to your question. If somebody says, I'll only give you $50,000 for X and it's not really a priority, you kind of have to sort of massage that and see if you can move them a little bit, or sometimes they move you, because maybe 50,000 is the first, towards 500,000, and it's, so it's, I mean, I've done this before with nascent organizations, and, you kind of have to have a vision, you have to have your priorities, but you also have to have a little bit of flexibility in thinking about the money that becomes accessible to us. So with everybody's help here, partnership with Nick and Nisha, and hopefully the council will, we'll figure it out.
Yes, and I should also add, oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, have you spoken to any of the Blue Zone people too? Because there's some crossover with Blue Zone.
Yeah, we have, and we totally agree. There's a lot of it in,
Yeah.
both locally and, because it's national, it's happening nationally and statewide. But yes, we're very excited about the work they're doing, and they were actually at our listening session, so it was great to hear from them and their perspective. And one of the things that we're also doing is talking to other Friends of Parks groups, and so we're envisioning this notion of sister parks. So I know we have sister cities, but we've talked to people in the Bay Area, people in New York, people all over, and are really energized by sort of the potential for resource sharing and just collaboration that comes with that. We will also be joining the City Parks Alliance, which is a nationwide nonprofit that helps with kind of identification of fundraising and also just like infrastructure and resource development. And so that will be a wonderful resource too for networking and finding other groups who are doing similar work, because again, there's a lot of it.
I assume it's sort of a work in progress as you look at the three priorities that you identified on the slide, how those merge into the master plan, what's going on here, where we're talking about a swim center and pickleball courts. And so I assume I'm giving you the out to my question, which is, you're absolutely right, we'll figure it out, but it's sort of like there's activity from the foundation, there's activity from the city, and we're going to kind of intersect at some point where resources are going to go to certain things, or projects that the city has going on, if they don't fit into one of those three buckets. I assume we're just going to figure this out as we go a little bit. Is that?
I think that's fair.
And we also envision filling gaps, right, in that, where if there's areas that the city wants to do something, but they don't that's not in the master plan, there's no funding for it, hopefully we can come in.
So if there's something around, just say water, and in the plan and projects that Nick and the team are talking about, this could be additive as opposed to where we're going to add on to something that maybe the city wants to do and hasn't gotten there. And in other cases, it may be, oh, here's a source of funding, or here's a grant that actually helps address something more specific. So
yeah,
is that okay?
Yeah.
We envision both, and working closely in collaboration. So through our working meetings with the department and with you all, we would hope to identify, okay, well, what's the top of your wish list, and what are the things that align that you're already planning and doing that also align with what we've identified as our key kind of principles and priorities.
And if you're in the marketplace and they're not restrictive grants, they're for general funding, then that obviously helps address that too.
That's right.
Great, thank you all. Thanks, guys.
Catherine, I never see you like that. It took me a second, honestly. I was like, wait, I usually see you in like leggings and stuff.
And I've usually seen you in a different conference room, so
True.
thanks for the space.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
I don't know why it's not moving. Is it?
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so we, moving on, our 50 years of Sunrise, a year of play. So we briefly chatted about this last month. I do want to let you know that the team has done a lot of extra work on finalizing all of our event schedule. I will email you this as we've kind of confirmed most of the dates, but I wanted to give you an idea of some of the events and stuff that we have planned for this year of play. Kicking it off with this Friday, which I know is soon, but we're working with some of the schools surrounding Victoria Park. We are also kickstarting what's called a Rec Unplugged event. Around this time each year, we used to do a Movies in the Park series, but with high winds, we were realizing in previous years that we were canceling a lot of those events because we couldn't put up the mobile inflatable screen. So we're now transitioning to kind of a mobile recreation play where we're taking recreation out into the parks. And so that's new series, which is called Rec Unplugged, kickstarts this Friday at Victoria Park. So we'll be doing an activity celebrating Black History Month. In March, we'll be doing a kite making event in Francis Stevens Park. April, we'll be doing a yoga in the park event in Wellness Park. In May, we're having 2 separate events, one in the downtown park in conjunction with the Rock the Park series that the Chamber puts on down in the amphitheater at the downtown park. And then also on the 3rd Saturday is Kids Do Parks Day, or we will be doing an event in Ruth Hardy Park. In June, we'll be celebrating All Things Swim Center with a dive-in movie where we'll be showing the movie Shark Tale. In July, a lot of this focus and effort will be surrounded with the Independence Day celebration, but we're also going to be celebrating with Village Fest, where because it's Parks and Recreation Month, we'll be doing a big thing for July and Parks and Rec Month in downtown as part of Village Fest. In August, we'll be doing a back-to-school bash in Baristo Park. September, we're looking to finalize the date with the Tahquitz Creek Golf Resort, but we're looking to do a glow night on the range, where a glow-in-the-dark kind of event happening there. And then in October, looking to do a dog park celebration pending kind of overseating schedule, and then a bocce ball tournament over in Gateway Park. And then in November, celebrating an event at Demuth Park, and then our kind of culminating events for this year of play is a Shine On 50 Years of Sunrise, which are large events in Sunrise Park, bringing all of our partners in Sunrise Park, and then just kind of talking about the history of Sunrise Park and kind of where we see to go with the next 50 years of Sunrise, but also with everything the department has going on, and the foundation's going to play a huge kind of role in that. So lots of different kind of events and activities that we have planned. They're finalizing the flyer now, and as soon as we have that done, we'll share this out with you so you all can kind of have a list of all the different activities and events that we'll have going on for the year, in addition to all the normal kind of just day-to-day stuff that we have going on. So that's kind of just a brief little update of where we have planned for 50 Years of Sunrise.
Cool. When is the next, or are you going to talk about this, the next issue of the Play magazine coming out?
It should be soon. I think we're waiting for the final draft.
Beginning of every month, so by March, early March?
It should be within the next week or so.
Each season.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we're
it's
on
seasonal now.
seasons
Yeah.
now.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So we're on season, so every quarter. So March is the next season, but it should be released within the next week.
Okay. Did you ever find out how many times it was opened and all of that stuff?
We are waiting for that data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Our contractor had to kind of do some reporting, so we're trying to see what data we have to play with. So we'll get that. All right. Upcoming special events, some other kind of save the dates to be aware of. On Friday, March 6th, we have a community paint by numbers event at Demuth Community Center. This is a guided experience that is free and open to the public. This will just kind of be a community art piece that we'll be creating kind of a mural, if you will, there. Well, not an official mural, not an official public art mural, but it'll just be a community paint by numbers event celebrating Women's History Month at Demuth Park. Upcoming, we have spring camp that is coming up. Signups begin on March 1st and spots fill up quickly. So as part of spring camp, students will enjoy 2 weeks packed with games, field trips, and activities that will create lasting memories for your little ones. Camp is available for grades kindergarten through 8th grade and is available both at the James O. Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center and Leisure Center at Sunrise Park. So, and it will be held March 30th through April 10th. Also coming up, April 3rd, we have our Easter egg hunt at the James O. Jesse Desert Highland Unity Center. This will be held on the April 3rd at 4 p.m., where we will be having games, ice cream, and music, and of course, an Easter egg hunt for everyone to enjoy. Also happening in April, on April 4th, we will have a new kind of event. It's a Paint a Flower Paint a Flower Pot with a park ranger in celebration of Earth Day. So this will be held at the Demuth Community Center. Supplies will be provided, so we invite the community to join us as part of that event. And then also looking ahead, on April 11th, we have World Art Day, where I know some of you are participating on that committee. That'll be held in the downtown park from 10 to 2 p.m. So where guests of all ages can explore interactive art activities, enjoy live demonstrations, and experience diverse artistic expressions from local and regional artists. So you definitely don't want to miss that event. And we also are doing a call for artists. So if you or you know of any artists that would like to participate in this event, we're accepting applications to be part of our live art demo. So please contact us and let us know if you're interested in that. Also on May 1st, looking ahead, we have our Cinco de Mayo party. This will be held at the James O. Jesse Center. We will be having delicious tacos and refreshing agua frescas while experiencing the rich traditions of Mexico through a lively ballet folklorico performance. So this will be held on May 1st. And then we also have our Mother's Day celebration that'll be on Saturday, May 9th. At the Demuth Community Center, where you can give mom something homemade and heartfelt to cherish. And so come and visit us at DCC for this Mother's Day celebration and arts and crafts events. And that concludes some of the upcoming events, unless anyone has any questions.
Black History Month Parade, are we involved in that this year? What are we doing?
Yes, it is this Saturday, and so.
I'm glad you brought that up. So there's only, so far, only 2 responses, so you and
Probably Jace,
Adler.
no?
So the 2 of you have responded that you would like to do it, but you're the only ones so far. So I just want to put it out there one more time, if there's anybody else who wanted to participate. As of now, though, it appears you may be walking in the parade, which you have agreed to
We could do it, no problem, but I think it's gonna be hard for just 2 of us to hold the banner.
Yeah.
We need a third person
Yeah,
because
so we'll definitely work, we can get a volunteer to help you with the banner.
maybe we can get someone from the Parks and Rec, from.
Yeah, we can definitely work to get you someone else to help carry the banner, but if does end up being the 2 of you, is there anyone else?
We'll do
who's
it.
able to?
Okay, that's not a problem.
Yeah, so,
We'll totally do it.
just
We'll-
confirming that you're good with walking, you don't want a car, right?
No, we walked last year. Were you with
Yeah,
us?
yeah.
We walked last year, and it was nice to walk.
Yeah.
Jody, do you want to do it with, you did it already
volunteering.
last year
I'm
with
on
someone
the
else.
committee, the Palm Springs Black History Committee. I will be putting the parade on and helping do everything, and I can't walk in it because I'll be working.
Okay, because last year you walked with us. I just want to make sure you were okay not to walk this year.
Whatever happens is great.
Okay, fine.
I'll be
So
there.
I just received an email this
She's cool.
afternoon from the organizers that has all the information that you'll need, so I'll get that out to the
Okay.
2 of
Okay,
you.
just let it know.
If you get
Where to
us, just,
go
if you
and
just get us
how to-
someone to help us out, just to carry it, we'll be happy to do
Absolutely.
it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Do we want to wear our Parks and Rec shirts? Do you think we should do that? Or does it matter?
Sure, we can
That's a good
talk
idea.
about
Okay.
that.
Okay.
It's fine.
Any other questions for me?
Oh, I just wanted to say are we doing public comments yet?
Not yet.
Are you on the World Art Day?
I am, that's what I was going to talk about.
Okay.
I'll hold it.
Ad hoc updates. Dog park, we don't have any update. I saw that the dog park got closed because got flooded, which I fully expected to happen, so I was not surprised. Did you get a bajillion phone calls or no? Yeah.
Bajillion?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
bajillion.
I don't know. More than 1 million.
I don't know if that gives Nick that response.
Lots.
No.
Yes.
Well, I
Yeah.
figured, because
Yeah, and this is something that we need to talk more with the dog park folks, because our maintenance team, while you may not be able to see visibly a lot of the damage done from the recent rainstorms, our maintenance team sees that as they understand kind of just the maintenance and operation of it. And so even just keeping it closed for a few hours did help, but we would have likely kept it closed all day if we,
2 days probably.
well, possibly, yeah, if we hadn't received so many complaints about it.
Okay. I don't remember when our next ad hoc meeting is, otherwise I'd mention it.
I don't know the date off the top of my
Yeah.
head, but yeah.
That's it for me, for a dog park. Pickleball,
Pickleball,
fencing blew down.
Incredible win. On the 19th, we had a meeting for the ad hoc committee. We had it on Zoom. And we had a discussion with regard to court renovation, progression, and target completion date, which is going to be the first week in June of this year, I believe June 4th?
June 8th.
June 8th, okay. And date will be determined with regard to official reopening and with regard to like a dedication ceremony. Those dates are to be determined. We also had an introductory discussion pertaining to an on-site court reservation system. We went over the logistics of that. We did a review of traditional and proposed court setup upon the reopening, logistically, like with regard to beginner, intermediate, and advanced players. And we just wanted to get our finger on the pulse with regard to what was desired by the group, or what they thought would be the ideal for that in going forward. We'll have another meeting that'll be scheduled and planned for further analysis on this and other items as we move toward June of 2026. Myself personally, I haven't gotten complaints regarding the temporary side. I know it was shared at the last meeting that there were some complaints registered pertaining to no restroom availability at the temporary site. But again, I stress for myself personally, I haven't gotten complaints from folks. And that would be it.
They want an on-court reservation system though, right? Like when you put the paddle up, they want something like that.
They want something set up.
Okay, good. Okay. Swim center.
Nothing really to add from John's report earlier.
Golf?
Our last meeting was postponed, so we really don't have much of an.
Oh,
We'll get together, I believe, Wednesday, Nick?
Thursday.
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 master plan and park enhancements.
Well, we had a meeting.
Somebody was working.
John, Nick, and I. It was lovely. John caught me up on everything, so nothing to report, except he's already spoke about everything here, right?
Now it's time for commissioner comments.
I'm on the World Art Day Committee, and if anyone would like to volunteer and help, I'm gonna set up like I did last year. I'm gonna do Color with the Cops, have a couple nice police officers with us to color with the kids, but there's room for help if anyone feels like they wanna volunteer
When
and
is
help.
it again?
It's April 11th. And it's a really fun event in the downtown park.
It is fun.
It's a really fun event, yeah.
I was asked to see if, I think I emailed this to Riley maybe, but they're wondering if Parks and Recs Commission can come to the opening day of softball and baseball season and set up a booth on March 7th at 8 a.m.
Where would that be? Where would
I'm
it be?
guessing Duluth.
Who's requesting?
This was the folks that are heading up the youth baseball and softball league.
must be Desert Youth Athletics,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that, but.
We'll
Yeah.
connect with them and confirm.
Text and see if they answer me.
Anybody else? Nope. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting, right?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Meeting adjourned at 6:36 PM. The next one is March 23rd, 2026. Thanks, everyone.